I stand here today to remind you of something powerful between Buki. Something we often forget in the noise of this world. God did not create you to copy others. He created you to be different. You were not designed to follow every opinion, chase every trend, or live someone else's life. Real change begins when your thinking changes. And when your thinking changes, your life begins to transform. Today, I am not here to motivate you for a moment. I am here to awaken something inside you that will stay forever. A mindset that says, I will think differently so I can live better. So I can live better every single day. From the moment we open our eyes to the moment we fall asleep, our minds are busy. Thoughts are constantly running like a river that never stops flowing. And here's the thing. Most people don't even notice what kind of river they are in. They let the river carry them wherever it wants, believing it's just life. But here's the truth. Your thoughts are the architects of your life. They build your reality brick by brick, moment by moment. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thought that crosses your mind? Is it, I can do this? Today is full of opportunities. Or is it, I'm tired, I'll never catch up, nothing ever works for me? That first thought sets the tone for your entire day. It's not just a random idea. It's the seed that grows into your experiences. A single negative thought can make a simple task feel impossible. A single empowering thought can make the impossible seem within reach. Take someone as simple as a student preparing for exams. If they constantly think, I'll never pass, I'm not smart enough, then every page they read will feel heavy. Every formula, every concept, every fact becomes a mountain instead of a step. But the same student, if they think, I can understand this, I will get better every day, suddenly approaches the book differently. The mind is calmer, sharper, and open to learning. The thought changes the energy. The thought changes the effort. The thought changes the outcome. The thought changes the outcome. Your thoughts are like the software running on the hardware of your body. If the software is corrupted with doubt, fear, or negativity, the hardware struggles no matter how strong it is. But if your software is full of clarity, courage, and focus, your hardware, your actions, your decisions, your resilience works at its full potential. And here's where God's guidance comes in. He gave us the mind, but also the power to choose our thoughts. He gives us the opportunity to feed our minds with what is true, what is uplifting, and what is powerful. Because the world will often feed us the opposite. Look around at the people you admire. Why are some people calm under pressure, seemingly unstoppable, and always moving forward? It's not luck, it's not always skill. Often it's the way they think. They train their minds to see possibilities, not limitations, not limitations. They see challenges as lessons, not punishments. They wake up in the morning thinking, I will create, I will act, I will improve. Instead of life is too hard, I give up. And that thought, repeated thousands of times, becomes a reality that others can see and admire. Even in small moments, the power of thought is visible. Think of someone stuck in traffic, frustrated, honking, shouting. The thought, this is ruining my day, makes the wait unbearable, increases stress, and saps energy. Another person facing the same traffic thinks, I have time to listen to a podcast, to enjoy music, to think and plan. Suddenly, the same traffic becomes a gift, not a curse. The external situation hasn't changed, but the reality experienced by the mind has completely transformed. That is the power of thought shaping reality. And it's not only about positive thinking in the abstract, it's about conscious choice every day. It's about noticing the thoughts that enter your mind, challenging the ones that are destructive, and replacing them with ones that empower you. The habit of controlling your thoughts is not instant. It is built slowly, every morning, every night, every interaction. God gave us the ability to choose our thoughts as a divine gift. We are co-creators of our own lives. And the blueprint begins in the mind. Think about your relationships. If you constantly think, I can't trust anyone, people will always hurt me, then your actions, whether open or guarded, create distance, tension, and isolation. But if you think, I can trust, I can forgive, I can love wisely, your reality transforms. Friendships grow stronger, bonds become deeper, and opportunities to connect appear. Your mind, in essence, attracts the reality it believes in. The same is true for your career, your health, your finances, and even your peace of mind. A thought of fear, doubt, or scarcity shrinks your world. A thought of courage, clarity, and abundance expands it. When you start each day by speaking to your mind as God intended, filling it with faith, focus, and purpose, your life begins to move in alignment with that vision. This is why so many people struggle despite talent, effort, or even opportunity. They fail to see that their reality is a mirror of their thoughts. A mind filled with worry and negativity will manifest obstacles at every turn because the mind is always listening. The thoughts you feed yourself matter more than the circumstances around you. And the good news, you can change your reality at any moment by changing your thoughts. It's never too late. God gave you that power. So, the next time you feel stuck, overwhelmed, or powerless, remember this: your life is a reflection of your inner world. Your thoughts are not invisible, they are seeds planted in the soil of reality. Choose them wisely, nurture them with faith, discipline, and focus. Watch as your reality transforms step by step, thought by thought. Because a person who masters their mind masters their life, and a person who masters their thoughts truly begins to live the extraordinary life that God designed for them. Everywhere we look, there is a crowd. People rushing in the same direction, living by the same rules, thinking the same thoughts, and it seems safe, doesn't it, to follow what everyone else is doing? After all, if everyone is doing it, it must be right. But here's the hard truth. The crowd is not always right, and the crowd does not create greatness. In fact, the crowd often settles for mediocrity, while those willing to step aside go on to achieve extraordinary things. Think about your daily life. How often do we make choices based on what others expect of us? A career path because it's stable, a lifestyle because it's normal, opinions because they match the majority. The pressure to conform is invisible but powerful, like a tide that quietly pulls you in without you noticing. And slowly, without realizing it, your life starts to look like everyone else's, not because it's what you truly want, but because it's what is easiest to follow. Here's an example we all recognize. Imagine someone in school or college who loves art, who dreams of painting, creating, designing, but the world around them says, no, you should become an engineer, a doctor, or take a job everyone respects. So, they follow the crowd, ignoring their own unique calling. Years later, they may have a decent career, a comfortable life, but something feels missing. That quiet whisper of passion never dies, because it is a part of God's design for them. The crowd may have given them safety, but it stole their uniqueness. The crowd is always loud. It's always visible. It tells you what is acceptable, what is popular, what is normal, and it is tempting to obey.
Social media shows the lives of thousands, making you believe that their path is the right one. Friends, family, colleagues, they all have opinions, advice, expectations.
And if you follow them blindly, you surrender your own power. You begin to live a borrowed life instead of the life God intended specifically for you. But here's the truth. The most remarkable people in history, the people who changed the world, all chose to step away from the crowd. They thought differently when everyone else thought the same. They acted boldly when others hesitated. They pursued visions when everyone else settled for comfort. And that is not luck. It is the courage to honor the voice within, the voice God placed in their hearts rather than the noise around them. Let's bring it closer to our everyday experience. Think of someone at work. The team is stuck in a routine, repeating the same mistakes, doing the same thing because that's how it's always done. But one person dares to question, dares to propose a new idea, dares to take responsibility differently. At first, people may resist, criticize, or mock them. That is natural. The crowd resists change because it's uncomfortable. But if they persist, if they act on their conviction, they can lead innovation, create solutions, and eventually inspire others. That one person transforms the environment simply by refusing to follow blindly. It's not just about grand gestures. Even in small daily decisions, refusing to follow the crowd can transform your life. Choosing to wake up early when everyone sleeps in. Choosing to focus on growth while others indulge in distractions. Choosing to focus on growth while others indulge in distractions. Choosing to be kind when others complain or judge. These small acts accumulate into a life that is distinct, purposeful, and aligned with God's intention for you. Every time you step away from the crowd and make your own choice, you're shaping a reality that belongs entirely to you. The fear of standing out is real. The fear of standing out is real. Fear of judgment, fear of loneliness, fear of failing. But here's the paradox. The moment you stop seeking approval from the crowd, the moment you stop measuring your life by what others do, is the moment freedom enters your life. You begin to see clearly what is possible for you, not what is possible for the average person. You begin to discover talents, passions, and opportunities that were hidden by the noise of conformity. God designed you to be unique. No one else can live your exact life. Your thoughts, your abilities, your passions, your pros, they're yours alone. Following the crowd is like wearing someone else's shoes. They may look comfortable, but they don't fit. You stumble. You walk slowly. You walk slowly, you never run at full speed. But the moment you take off those borrowed shoes, the moment you walk in your own path, every step becomes powerful. Every step becomes meaningful. And yes, there will be moments when the crowd laughs, mocks, or questions you. But remember this, history remembers those who chose authenticity over approval, courage over comfort, purpose over conformity. They didn't follow the crowd, they inspired it. They didn't wait for others, they created a path others would one day admire. So, the challenge is simple yet profound. Refuse to let the crowd decide your life. Think differently, act differently, live differently. Live differently. Live differently, life differently. Live differently. Listen to the voice God placed in your heart and trust it more than the voice of the majority, because the life you are meant to live is not in the footsteps of millions. It's in the footsteps of one yourself. Step out, step forward, and watch how extraordinary your life becomes when you stop following and start leading yourself. We live in a world that is louder than ever. Every day, our minds are bombarded with messages, opinions, and distractions. Social media, news, notifications, voices of friends, family, colleagues, even strangers. We are surrounded by constant chatter. And if we are not careful, this noise becomes our reality. It dictates our choices, influences our emotions, and clouds our judgment. But here's the truth. Silencing the noise around you is the first step to finding clarity, power, and peace in your life. Think about your own life. How often do you make decisions based on what everyone else thinks is right? Maybe you choose a career path because it's expected, not because it excites you. Maybe you follow trends because you fear being left out. Maybe you suppress your dreams because someone told you it's impossible. That's the noise, the constant influence of external opinions telling you who to be, what to do, and how to live. And the more we listen to it, the more our own voice, the voice God placed inside us, gets drowned out. Silencing the noise does not mean ignoring the world. It does not mean turning your back on advice or wisdom. It means filtering what truly matters, recognizing what strengthens your life, and rejecting what drains it. Imagine someone learning a new skill, perhaps starting a business or writing a book. Every day they hear skepticism. It won't work. Why bother? You're not ready. These words are like static in the mind, designed to distract, discourage, and derail. If they pay attention to every voice, they will never begin. But if they silence the noise, listen to their inner conviction, and focus on the task, they start to create progress. One quiet hour of focus beats 1,000 hours of anxious distraction. Even in the small moments, silence has power. People are talking, music is playing, phones are buzzing. If you allow it to consume you, you feel anxious, restless, unfocused. But if you take a deep breath, close your eyes for a moment and center your mind, suddenly, amidst the chaos, clarity emerges. You hear your own thoughts, your own direction, your own purpose. That's the power of silence. It creates space for your mind to think, for your heart to feel, for your life to align with what truly matters. The mind needs this silence, like the body needs oxygen. When we constantly consume noise, negative news, comparisons on social media, conflicting advice, we start to feel confused and powerless. Every decision becomes harder. Every step forward feels risky. Every dream seems distant. But when we choose to quiet the distractions, we connect with the source of strength within us, God's guidance, our inner wisdom, our clarity of purpose, all emerge when the mind is calm and focused, not scattered and overwhelmed. Think of a musician practicing a song. They cannot play beautifully if there is chaos in the room. They cannot hear the melody if their mind is full of chatter. They need silence to focus, to refine, to create. Life works the same way. Your ideas, your actions, your progress, and your clarity need the quiet of your mind to flourish. Noise is the enemy of creativity, peace, and growth. Silence is the ally of courage, insight, and action. Even in relationships, silencing the noise is transformative. How often do arguments escalate because we are listening to our ego, assumptions, or outside opinions instead of the truth of the moment? How often do we worry about what others think of us rather than acting with integrity? Choosing silence, pausing before reacting, listening deeply before speaking, can transform misunderstandings into connection, confusion into clarity, and stress into peace. In this way, silencing the noise is not just about personal growth. It strengthens every part of your life. Silence does not mean being passive. On the contrary, it requires courage. It requires discipline to turn down the volume of the outside world so that the inner world can speak.
Every successful person you admire, every visionary, every leader, every inspired soul, They understood the importance of listening to the quiet.
They did not react to every trend, every opinion, or every criticism. They created space in their lives to hear what truly mattered. And in that silence, they found insight, creativity, and courage that changed the world. Even daily routines offer opportunities. Waking up 10 minutes earlier to sit in quiet reflection, taking a walk without a phone, letting your mind settle, spend the NG time journaling your thoughts instead of scrolling endlessly. These small acts may seem insignificant, but they train your mind to recognize what is valuable, to let go of the unnecessary, and to strengthen your connection with your purpose. Over time, this practice transforms not only your thinking, but your life. So, the challenge is simple. Choose silence deliberately in a noisy world. Guard your mind against distractions. Ignore the voices that do not serve you. And focus on what aligns with your purpose. Listen to God's guidance. Listen to your inner wisdom. And let that voice grow louder than the noise around you. The world will always be loud, but the life you were meant to live requires clarity, focus, and peace. And clarity, focus, and peace begin when you silence the noise. Life does not always happen the way we expect. Challenges arrive uninvited. Failures knock at the door. Disappointments shadow our plans. And in these moments, it is easy to feel trapped, helpless, or defeated.
But here's the truth. The world is rarely changed by circumstances. It is changed by how we see those circumstances. It is changed by how we see those circumstances.
The same situation can break one person and elevate another. The difference lies not in luck, not in talent, but in perspective. Change your perspective and you change your life. Think about it like this. Imagine two people stuck in the rain without an umbrella. One complains, curses the sky, and wishes the storm would end immediately. The other looks at the same rain, smiles, and notices how fresh and alive the world feels. One sees a problem, the other sees an opportunity. The situation is identical. What differs is the lens through which they view it. That lens, that perspective, shapes not only their emotions, but their choices, their energy, and ultimately their life. Every day we encounter moments that test us. A missed promotion, a failed project, a disheartened, we met with someone we care about, or a personal setback. In those moments, most people focus on what went wrong. They see obstacles as dead ends. They see criticism as defeat. They see failure as final. But the people who thrive, who grow, who become resilient, do something different, they shift their perspective. They ask, what is this teaching me? What can I learn? How can I turn this into fuel for growth? And with that small mental shift, everything changes. Consider someone struggling with their career. They feel stuck in a job that doesn't inspire them, surrounded by colleagues who seem to advance faster. Most would feel jealous, frustrated, and hopeless. But one who changes perspective sees it differently. They see the job as a learning ground, an opportunity to refine skills, build discipline, and understand their own strengths and weaknesses. What once felt like a trap becomes a training ground. What once felt like a burden becomes preparation for the future. Perspective transforms frustration into motivation. The power of perspective is also visible in relationships. Think of a disagreement with a friend or family member. One perspective might focus on blame, resentment, and anger. Another perspective asks, why did this happen? What is this teaching me about patience, compassion, or communication? When you shift your focus from the problem to the lesson, conflict transforms into growth. The situation does not change, but the meaning you extract from it does. And that meaning shapes your feelings, your actions, and your relationships. Even in health or personal struggles, perspective matters. Someone facing illness may see only limitation, pain, and fear. Another chooses to see strength, resilience, and opportunity for self-care. The illness is not desired, but the perspective transforms the response from despair to determination. Perspective is the bridge between experience and growth. It decides whether life's challenges break you or build you. Perspective is not about ignoring reality. It is not pretending that pain, failure, or difficulty does not exist. It is about consciously choosing how you interpret reality. It is about refusing to be a victim of circumstance. It is about seeing each experience as neutral and deciding how to respond. And in that response